Welcome everybody probably to the last installment of the Autodesk Inventor tutorial. We're going to do the top profile now of our CO2 dragster. Now you should be able to see here, I've orientated this by finding and clicking the corner until I've got the right view, that we've got our dragster cut out from the side but not necessarily the top. So I'm going to go to Start 2D Sketch and I'm going to expand the origin folder within our browser here and find the right plane. I'm not going to cut from the top, I'm going to cut from the bottom, which is the XZ plane. Now, all I'm going to do here is pretty simply think about where I've got a couple of my features. So, for example, I've got two wheels which will be centered around the front, or I could be putting them in a slot in the middle, I suppose, and then I want to try and cut away some of the material in the middle. So, I'm going to right click and not use the rectangle tool, but click the Project Geometry tool and just select the outside edges of this vehicle the whole way around. Now once I've done that, this will enable me to see the outside profile I can use, and I'm going to click the Cut to Slice Graphics button. You can see this is the profile we've got. Now I need to keep quite a lot of my rectangle space at the back here, so for my CO2 Dragster cartridge. So I'm just going to create a rectangle that matches the size. Now we make the holes 55, but we add onto that 3mm at the front and then 3mm either side, so it's 20 plus 6 because there's two 3mm. Now I'm going to use the horizontal tool here to coincidence the center of the purple line to the point in the middle. Oops, that's the one. This one. Yeah, that constraint, and that will snap that in place. Now, I don't actually want that to be part of my sketch, so I'm going to select it as construction geometry, which I just did up there. Now I'm going to draw out my profile. So as long as I stay outside of this shape, I've got enough room. I'm going to only do it in halves, so I'm going to use the line tool. I'm going to start just further along. I'm going to go to the roughly along the edge here, click and hold, and start dragging in my shape. Once I get to about here, I'm going to click and hold again, and I'll bring it out so it's not quite so narrow to about here. I'm waiting until my line actually gets that small dotted line to the dot in the middle, so that means it's a tangent. I'm going to draw this all the way down to roughly the end, and then I'm going to draw a little bit of a nose onto it, like so. And I'm going to go right, okay. I'm just going to drag that up slightly so that the dot is more centralized. Now, this will be my central component here between the two sections of the car, and I'm just going to increase its distance slightly by clicking the center point at the back and that edge, because I don't want my vehicle to be too thin. I'm going to make this about 7mm. Okay, I'm going to just zoom in slightly and use the coincidence tool to coincidence. Oops, not the coincidence tool. I'm going to use the, in this case, the vertical constraint to vertically constrain this point all the way along to this point. Okay, which is quite important. I'm then going to just make sure that I've got enough distance here between the two. I've got 4mm, I'm happy to make that about 3mm. And that's my profile done. So now I just want to select profile, like so. Oops, got dimension selected, so I just click escape twice. I'm going to select my profile, holding down Control so I get all of it. And then I am going to, now this probably won't work actually, so I'm just going to move my dimension here if we can. I can't. I'm going to select a line, and I'm going to click between the two points front to back. I'm then going to select all my geometry, like so, holding Control, just like that, and I'm going to click the mirror tool. Now the mirror tool has got the selection button completed. It's gone white, but it needs a mirror line, and I'm mirroring it across that line I just made. Clicking Apply, and you can see now that I've got a duplicate on the other side. Now I just need to join out the back edge now, and I've got a completed dragster top profile. Clicking Finish Sketch, I'm going to do the Extrude tool for the second time, or third time now. I'm going to select Intersect, and I'm going to go through all. And this bit only works when you select the profile. You notice it's an orange button here, so select. I need to click on the profile I want to use. I'm going to zoom in and select the two inside halves. Now I accidentally selected all of the halves there, so I'm going to select the little drop down button again. So I'm going to go extrude, profile again, select the half, and then zooming in, trying to select that other half there, but not the other one. You'll notice they sometimes highlight together. Now I'm going to click remove others, which is the intersect tool. Clicking one of my icons just to check what it looks like. I'm going to go to distance, all, and that gives me the second kind of profile that I've got on my vehicle. And you can see here, we're starting to get more of a finished design dragster shape, which is really cool. Now, for us, this will actually do for us to start manufacturing. Okay, we don't need to go further than that. But you could also do some visual aesthetics. So if I click the fillet tool and I selected this line here, I could actually select a variable fillet, and then selecting the edge, cancel that, or a bit pear-shaped, the variable fillet, selecting its edge, I could change the radius at the end, say to 10, and the radius at the beginning leaving it 0, and you can see how the fillet gets wider the further back you go. And we're going to make that 20. Too far. Let's go 15. And selecting the other side, plus, we can now do the other side. And you can see now how your dragster might be starting to look a little bit more streamlined. That didn't want to do it that time, so I'm going to try again. Fillet, other end. Didn't want to do it again either. Fillet, back edge here, 15. It doesn't want to give me the second one. Regardless, this is one method of creating a more detailed profile. Okay, I'm going to save that again with the save as and label it something slightly different from the last one.